Hi everyone, my name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today I am in Portland, Oregon, and I'm with my good friend Brian here, and we are in, now, let me get it, is it Bloody's? Is it Bloody's Tiki Room, or is it Bloody's Tiki Bar?
Just Bloody's is good, or Bloody's Tiki Bar, either one. I'm not a stickler. Like, I just, Bloody's.
Bloody's.
Yeah, so Bloody's Tiki Bar too, though. Either one.
That's how Bloody's is really cool, though. We're going to go over to Bloody's tonight.
Yeah, my dad, my last name's Bloodgood, so.
Yeah, Bloodgood.
And my dad had a racing helmet that hung in his garage for the whole time I was growing up, and it had Bloody on it. And hand painted red letters, like dripping blood, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And so
Bloody.
Yep.
So it wasn't even apostrophe, it's just Bloody.
Bloody, yeah. And so I did the lettering, based on his helmet on my little sign I made.
Yeah, it's right there.
And so, but yeah, that's based off his helmet, and so I just kind of adopted that. And my brother's a big car guy, and so like he has a garage, and so it's called Bloody's Garage. So I have a twin brother, but that's where Bloody's came from. Is a thing from my last name, and then my dad was called Bloody all the time, so I kind of just adopted that.
We are in Bloody's Tiki Bar. The interesting thing about your space is that your home is right here, and this is its own structure that you completely built ground up, right?
Yeah. So in 2018, I have a deck that was existing here, and the boards are this Trex, and it's supposed to last forever. And I don't know if you can see it. Nothing lasts forever, but if you look over there,
like. So how long are these boards gonna last? Oh, they're gonna last forever. Forever? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
And they.
So how long was forever?
I've been
3
here.
years.
Yeah, not well. They lasted at least, I don't know what. Let's see, at least 13 years. But
right.
They didn't. Whoever installed it didn't do it proper, and they didn't leave a gap in between, so water would sit on the deck, and it just slowly the tops of the board started chipping away. And so, but I've been in I've always wanted somewhere. I was actually going to build a tiki bar only over in the corner of my yard.
Yeah.
And just something small, and then I was like, oh, I gotta either rip out this deck or I gotta cover it because these boards aren't going to be good in a few years. And so I talked my wife into constructing this. So,
hey, honey, how do you feel about me making and you're saying that your wife isn't really into tiki?
Not so much, yeah.
But at least she lets you do what you want to do, though.
She does. She's very supportive. I'm very thankful.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about your story is that you and your wife actually got married in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how long ago was that?
2005. Yeah.
2005. And that struck a nerve with you, right?
Oh yeah, it was Hawaii. I just wanted to recreate that when I came home so bad.
And that's what you did, right?
Yeah. I started with my pond, and I had a little bamboo grove, and just kind of expanded from there.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, it was neat. The guy was a sea captain, and his name was Captain Howie, and he was a funny dude.
Before you built this, you actually built the pond.
I did. Yep.
Which we'll take a look at in a couple seconds here. But originally you started off with a smaller pond.
Yep.
And then you're like, no, I need to make a bigger one.
Yeah. Koi are kind of, I don't know, koi are kind of expensive. They're, even for one that's really little, they're between $30 and $50 a piece.
Whoa.
And yeah, and especially when I started building the pond, I build everything on a budget.
Yeah.
But man, raccoons, they'd come down off of my neighbor's roof into my yard, and they just reach in and scoop out my koi and munch on them, and so it was heartbreaking.
Their little hands.
Yes. Oh, I've had them. They just kind of they'll go to the water edge and go and just splash water everywhere.
Oh my God.
I even tried an electric fence one time, and they'd hit the electric fence with their paw, and you could hear them in the house going, meow, meow. And so I was like, but it didn't look good. So I learned very quickly, you gotta have on your pond on all sides. If you don't want the raccoon to scoop in and get your fish, you gotta have the sides go 3 foot down, just straight down.
3 feet down.
Yeah, so that's how deep my pond is.
Damn.
They won't get your fish. And I haven't lost one to a raccoon since I went bigger and built the bigger pond the next year after I took out the little preformed one.
Isn't that funny? Like of all the things that you never thought you'd have to think about in your life is honey, we got a real problem.
Right.
What's that? The damn raccoons are eating the koi.
It is
So when you were like when you were like a teenager in high school, Brian, did you ever think to yourself, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a problem where like I need to stop raccoons from eating my fish?
not in a million years.
How did the actual tiki bar come to play?
So in 2018 when I realized, oh, my deck's starting to go, I was like, oh, I didn't want to tear it out. Would have been a lot of work to tear it out, and we loved having the deck. So, and I've just been collecting stuff, and I had in my garage behind us, I have this shelf that goes on the top, and I just had all my tiki stuff from late 2005 all the way through now, just in big Rubbermaid tubs up there. And I probably had like 6 tubs and 5 cardboard boxes, and my bar stools were up there, and I had bought bar stools before I even had a bar because they were cool, and I was like, I'll have somewhere to put these someday. and so I just had them up there, and then I talked April, my wife, into letting me build my bar here. So.
You remember when you were asking, like, what are you going to do with those bar stools? Well, I have an idea. So how long did it take for you to build this? I mean, this is like a big structure. It's almost the size of my apartment, to be honest with you.
Well,
and high ceilings too.
You know, it's funny. So I just went on I went on the internet and YouTube, and I started watching videos, and I had watched a guy who had made a greenhouse, because I love tropical plants, and I wanted to have a place to put plants in the wintertime too. And I watched a guy like use repurposed windows like this to build a greenhouse, and so then I got plans off the internet. And
is that how you did it? You're like, no, April, I'm not building a tiki bar. I'm building a greenhouse. You like plants, right?
And she does like plants.
Yeah, but she's like, as this is building up, she's like, so where's the plants at, Brian?
Yep. And I do have a
one
few.
right there.
I do have a few, but I think more it was like, oh, we can get the tiki stuff you have in the house out of the house and have it somewhere else too. So, we did that. But yeah, so I started. But the main structure actually went up really quick. I started in May of 2018, and I'd say by like July I had all the framing done.
Oh, damn.
Like the main supports and everything else kind of took a long time after that. Like my father-in-law came and he helped me put up the sheeting on the roof, and then I had our whole house, because of the Portland weather, we get so much, the rain. It
rains a lot.
We had to have all the shingles done on our roof, and it was good timing. So they did the top of the tiki room, and but yeah, it wasn't until COVID hit though that I really got to work, because like in March when everything shut down, I just had nothing to do, because my business relied on schools and restaurants and bars, and so like all these were open, and I put in every single window in like a few months. Just went around and did all the windows, and
there's a lot of people I know that they did take advantage of COVID and like build up their tiki spaces, or even just like, hey, I'm gonna amp up my drink game. Learn how to make cocktails, learn how to do other things and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, Brian, like you knocked it out of the park, and it's interesting because it's like, it's not a garage, and it's not like a shed by any means. Like it's like a full on its own structure that's actually, it looks like taller than your actual home.
It's probably close to the same.
Pretty close to it.
Well, and, I went and I originally wasn't going to do it myself. Like I had a friend that's a contractor come over and look at my deck.
Yeah. And
I called another guy, and I had a couple quotes, but man, they wanted like $20,000 to extend the roof on my house, and like I was like, there's no, I'm not that big on my, so I think like all the wood to build the main structure and everything was like, at the time before COVID hit, because lumber went up through the roof, but I think it was around $2,000 for all the wood.
That's it?
Yeah, and I did all the work myself, so I mean literally $2,000, and I have the structure. Yeah. And I took a loan out for the shingling on the roof, like a home equity loan or whatever, so they did that and almost got that paid off. So, but yeah, it just You can do tiki cheap if you set your mind to it. So
There you go, cheap tiki.
yeah,
But no, seriously, Brian, it's if there's any adjectives that describes your place, one word I would not say is cheap. Definitely not. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's give our viewers, my viewers, a little tour of your place.
sure.
We'll show them off the bar, and then we'll take them outside and we'll show them the pond,
Oh, awesome.
and we'll show them the koi that hasn't been grabbed by the raccoon yet. So.
Yeah, my koi, I love them. I only have 6 right now, but they've been with me almost the whole time I've had since I rebuilt the pond in 2008. Some of them are 13, 14 years old, so I don't know how long they live, but these guys have been with me for a long time, so.
Well, hopefully they'll be with you for like a long, long time.
Yeah.
So let's go check it out.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, this is my pond. I built it in the first version I built in 2007, and then I realized quickly that I needed to go bigger. So in 2008, that's when I did what I did now, and over the years I've just slowly landscaped around it. But I've got like banana trees, and they've actually produced fruit, and I've had little baby bananas this big. You can't eat them, but they're pretty cool. And yeah, just over the years, I've tried a lot of different plants to see what has that tropical feel, and a lot don't make it through our winter, and a lot do. So I've just kind of over the years experimented, and this is where I'm at. And this was my first tiki hut. I used to have the lamp that's above my restaurant booth. Used to hang in here, and I had a little light switch. And I'd sit here and watch the koi all the time, but now the banana trees kind of took over, and you can't see the koi as well from here. But so I sit on this little concrete bench over here a lot when I'm watching them. And I've got 6 koi, and they all have different names. One looks like he has googly eyes, so we call him Googles. And there's a black and white fish that's coming up towards the top that looks kind of like a cow, so we call it the cow. And the yellow fish is called sunshine chicken. I asked my folks to name it, and one of them said sunshine, and the other one said chicken, and so I call it sunshine chicken. But yeah, they all have different names, and but yeah, and I think my bridge is going to be in for a rebuild here in the next year or two. I've had that bridge for 14 years, and I think I'm going to go with the flat bridge instead of an arched bridge maybe next. The boards just our winters took its toll on them. So, and the waterfall's made out of actual volcanic rock. It's called feather rock, and those boulders I can actually lift myself and with my own arms. But it's super sharp. It's like glass, so you have to have pretty good gloves on or it'll shred your hands. But yeah, I brought all the rocks back in from a rock place not too far away, and cemented them together. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the only part that was here before I moved here was this corner bamboo, and I've since moved it over here, and I put in the palm tree. You can't even tell I have a palm tree in the back corner, but I got one. So, and that was like when I planted that, it was like just stuck above the ground, like maybe this big, and now it's taller than my garage. So yeah, after 13 years, they get pretty big. So yeah, this is my bar. So I actually, when I was building the bar, I started on the other side, and then the bar came together last year. I actually just finished putting this together in August last year. My rum collection, I don't have all the good stuff out here, but I started, I don't know, I've been collecting rums for a long time. So I knew I had to have lots of shelves, and this used to be my old TV entertainment center, but it worked great for glass storage. You can see I got these at Monk Tiki in Astoria, and I've got a lot of my tiki mugs that I don't mind serving to friends, so they don't get, if one of those gets broke, I'm not going to be heartbroken. But I cosplayed as Magnum PI for Comic-Con a few years ago. I found a vintage shirt that was like his from the TV series, so I was like, I gotta do Magnum PI in my tiki bar. So I ordered the hat off Amazon and did that. I grew up with this Hamilton Beach malt maker, and then I started noticing a lot of people use spindle mixers to do their drinks, and that was my folks in Iowa, and I told my dad I needed one, and he shipped me that a couple of years ago. And so I've been sitting on it. And then I have a friend that used to work at a pretty fancy restaurant down in Monterey in California, and he's like, I have the matching juicer to your malt maker, and he gave it to me for my birthday last year, which was a really cool gift. And so I did that. And then my sidebar over here is kind of cool. A really good friend of mine works at an elevator repair company place, and my stainless steel sidebar is actually an elevator door. And I found this ice whale off Facebook Marketplace. Somebody just had one, and so this came in good at the Tiki Con bar tour, as I was able to have somewhere to put my ice. And my Sailor Jerry's girl, my brother was at a swap meet in North Carolina, and he's like, oh my gosh, you got to have this. And he picked that up for me and took it to Iowa, and then I shipped it here from Iowa. My restaurant booth, picked this up on Craigslist. Just type in restaurant booths. People put them up from time to time. So then my table was like a $10 table a lady had. I just typed in restaurant table from into Facebook Marketplace, and it popped up. And some of these are just tchotchkes that I've been collecting over the last 15, 16 years. I think my favorite piece is this narwhal head. A lot of people have those, but I found that in an antique store. And then the little pot next to it was just a 99-cent Goodwill find, but that pattern is what I used to pattern my chair rail and baseboard that I routed the trim boards for my for all the way around the room. And then in the winter I have a little fireplace to keep it warm, and I occasionally enjoy having a pipe with a buddy of mine, so I've got a little pipe collection. And it was just nice to have a place to finally put all my stuff after collecting for 15 years.
Well, Brian, thank you very much for showing us around. Love your place.
Oh, thank you.
And I love the fact that like it truly is like an escape in your backyard. I love the fact that you've actually combined not even just having like a tiki bar in that we're in right here, but you have it outside. Because you don't see that too often, actually.
Well, it's funny because and I was kind of worried about that because most tiki bars are so dark.
Yeah.
And no white. I follow Bamboo Bin.
No white walls.
White walls, and so I did. Everything's painted dark brown, but I really, I spent so much time on my backyard. I wanted it to come through into the subtropical garden, to come through into my tiki room, and so I was like, I figured at least if you're looking out, you're going to see something that's fairly pleasing to your eye and somewhat
Well,
tropical.
it would be a sin for you not to be able to see that. Like you look out the window right there, and it's like boom, there it is, and it would be a sin to not be able to see that. I mean, it's sort of like even like when it comes to like if you're going to like build a tiki bar, the rules are not it's like suggestions more than anything, and I love the fact that yours is actually like open and lit, But the thing is, it's not a beach bar by any means. It's definitely a tiki bar.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. It's like at least I don't see any surfboards hanging up or anything.
No,
like that.
I don't. I mean, I love surf culture, but yeah, I'm not. I tried to. I love, and I don't get on anybody. Whatever people want to do in their home bar, I'm like, that's awesome. And I tried to in the bar. I tried to follow the more traditional aesthetic.
Yeah.
As much as possible, but throw a few of my own flavors in, and but yeah, I don't begrudge anybody who if somebody had a surfboard in their bar.
No, I'm not going to judge you if you have a surfboard, as long as you know how to surf.
I can't remember the name of the place where we got married. I keep thinking it's Heaven's Gate, but I think isn't that?
I hope it's not Heaven's Gate.
I know.
Yeah, you gotta wear Nikes, and you gotta.
It was like above heaven.
Heaven's Gate.
No, it had heaven in the name. I cannot remember what it was called. But
and I remember going there, and I remember the maitre d' was this guy who was like,
"Here, have some Kool-Aid."
No, that's Jim Jones.